selling. Apparently, one of the guys giving testimonials was a not trustworthy person. And then another guy talking about the eggs not hatching. I guess it did work eventually. So right now, that's everything we've got some more information on. These in Tier 1 Justice and Tier 1 Cosmonaut. The Prime Jin, Evo, and Noted. And the resub. Dargison, Pizza Guy, and Cody.
Talked about this. If you had reached out to me, personally, not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven, but the first time you did was on Christmas Eve after you released your series so you could rely on false statements and unreliable people used recklessly. The subject line was third request for comment. Yeah, not quite. This will be my third time reaching out to you and your team. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. Okay, so the last time on Christmas Eve, after the fact, was to me. You have a funny way of twisting things. And I also noticed you left out that part on Twitter. Why hide that? Trust me, CryptoZoo is coming. Ooh. I will make damn sure of it. And honestly, it sucks that after years of personal reform, going through trials and tribulations and busting my ass to evolve into a person that I can say I'm actually proud of, you led the charge to drive and monetize a narrative telling millions of people that I'm a fraud or I tried to scam my audience. That is patently false. This video is mainly for my fans and anyone who's on the fence that I hope I can help understand a situation that is tremendously complex but has been oversimplified for both views and clicks. And lastly, Coffeezilla. I now know your motives with this. Clout and money, good for you, but also you're slimy as so I'm not gonna come on any of your podcasts. If you wanna come on Impulsive and talk about this, that's fine. You've denied my invitation multiple times. You're still invited. It can be a one-on-one. If not, we're gonna handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court.
Amen. Damn, that was big. 7 minutes of fury, but not a whole lot of evidence on specific claims, just more broader things. So you hired 2 criminals because you didn't do any amount of background research. Why is there faith in CryptoZoo? Why should there be going forward? How about here? It's coming. How? Have you replaced the 2 criminals? Finish the ending? Oh, is there more? I thought it was just going to be an outro to Prime or something. That's all it was. What do you mean? There was nothing else. But yeah, he did just, he posted in the Discord for the first time in a year right before releasing that. So he has 3 messages in the Discord. One of them was yo. And then the other one was I'm drunk, or I'm sober right now. So he hasn't really been keeping the community up to date with what's going on, which is why for a year now everyone's felt like they've been scammed. Here, Coffeezilla posted. Let's see what his tweets are. W. Logan. For what, though? It was, like, I don't think it was a bad response. I would have liked if he actually tackled individual points that had substantial evidence, such as the handmade art claim being just blatantly false, as well as, like, the other people that gave testimonials, as well as maybe just apologizing for the lack of communication and for people feeling scammed if it's not actually a scam. There was plenty that he didn't do correctly there. But overall, it wasn't, like, awful. I was expecting a lot worse. 0 apologies, 0 addressing victims, and 0 accountability. Logan accuses me of not reaching out to him directly until December 24th, but doesn't mention I reached out over a year ago prior on Instagram. Not the optimal platform to get a response. But I also don't know how you're supposed to get in touch with someone like Logan Paul either if it's not through his manager. There's no direct means of communication that I know of. It was only after a year of not getting a response that he began calling his manager for answers about CryptoZoo and got comically stupid responses. What I don't understand. What is this doesn't this So now you're admitting like you just didn't see it. Which, I mean, it's through Instagram. It's not optimal, but like, it's not hard to believe that he wouldn't know how to get in contact directly with you if it's not through your manager. That's the whole point of a manager. He could have used Twitter. He's blocked on Twitter. Logan blocked him. Plus, Logan Paul's DMs are closed. I can't DM Logan Paul. No, I don't expect you to see every DM, which is why I reached out to your manager and explicitly said I was trying to reach you because I hadn't gotten a response. Oof. I mean, them's the receipts. I mean, yeah, Jeff read it. So, oof. Thanks to resub Peter, Big Tooge, and Warrior. And Machinus, Phoenix, and Prime Doctor. And resub Firestrike. Look at his YouTube description now. Contains no financial advice. Yeah, I saw that. I think that's just a boilerplate thing from his legal department. What kind of people is Logan Paul hiring? Literal criminals. He admits to it. He hired a fucking criminal. Well, 2 of them, actually. Well, 3 if you count Crypto King. 3 criminals. He had Eddie, the professional con man, who was just a blatant con man. I don't know how anyone on Logan Paul's team could hear this guy's story and think for a second he's real. He claimed to have won the fucking 2018 Super Bowl at the Philadelphia Eagles and claimed to be like a hacker responsible for AOL hacking. And also a CIA operative. And also works closely with billionaires and shit. Like, it takes minutes to deduce that this guy's probably not the real deal. And then, I don't know why he ever teamed up with Jake the Crypto King. That guy is just an actual serial scammer. But I did appreciate that he put that little red X over Jake the Crypto King. There it is. Exit Prime, Zeriso, and the resub Tom, Sydney, and Daisy. And Tier 1, Rolo, and Prime Philip. I hope that he does talk more on Impulsive because, like I said, he didn't tackle specific claims with evidence such as all of the text messages and all of the actual statements from the group meetings that I believe Jake, the Crypto King, provided, where it showcased his, like, the whole team's motives behind the project as well as market manipulation and then everything falling apart behind the scenes. He doesn't tackle the handmade art assets being just blatantly false and provably wrong. Apparently, I didn't do the research myself, but from all the evidence seems pretty cut and dry. He didn't tackle the actual specific claims on the project. He's going more big picture with it, but he focused in on some really small ones, I think. Again, this guy being a scammer and also getting scammed by CryptoZoo doesn't really prove a point other than this one guy is a piece of shit who also got scammed by my project. He lost money on it just like everyone else. You shouldn't have been in your video. And that's fair. Definitely not a good spokesperson giving testimonials if he's also not a good person. But it also doesn't discredit all of the true victims that are there. Coffee tweeted again. Oh, here. This is hardly important with all the insane lies on Logan Paul's new video, but did he really say he was going to sue me and also say he'd love to host me on Impulsive? That's kind of cute, though, I'm not going to lie. Easy tier 1. Raquel and the resub Fernando and Prime Jobo. Yeah, I imagine this is once again going to be divisive. I saw some people in the chat saying Logan absolutely won this. And like I said, I don't think it's even terrible. I really don't. I would have expected this to be a lot worse from someone like Logan. But he doesn't prove his innocence here either. This is still a project that should have no backers. He hired 3 fucking criminals to run it with him. There's no amount of background checking, there's no communication, everyone did lose money on it. There is no reason that this should continue to exist. What he should do is apologize to everyone that lost money and just fucking refund their investments. Just eat shit on it and move on. If you want to continue to try and have a good reputation. Even if it wasn't designed to be a scam, which, again, all of those group chat messages as well as everything provided from Jake, I believe, seems like from the beginning it was designed to just be a money-making exploit. But even if that wasn't the point, everyone did lose money on it. It is still in a non-functional state overall for the majority of your users. Move on from it. Make them whole again. And be done with it. Yeah, most people are... I thought this was going to be more divisive. Now the comments are eating them alive. Thanks to the resub Infinite, Orpheus, and Floppy in the Prime Scythe. And the resub Ryan. Thanks to Prime Jake. Hassan's got some better takes on this? What? What other take is there? Like, I feel like there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for interpretation here. It's a 7-minute video. He legitimately didn't address any, like, specific points or evidence. Again, he focused on broader things. Like, there's not, like, many takes to have here. I don't know what you're talking about. Exit Tier 1 Universe and Tier 1 Winter, the Prime Ziff and Resub Autumn, Teacup, Pokemaster, and Tier 1 Calibus. Do you think there is anything Logan can actually take legal action on? I don't think so. I don't see how he could, if I'm being honest. I don't really think there was anything necessarily defamatory about Coffeezilla's video, and I don't think that's what he's going to go for. He's going to go for the unethical record... Like, I think it is, like, actually illegal to record a private phone call conversation. He's going to go for that angle, talking about an illegally recorded phone call with his manager. So if he is going for something legal, I think that's the angle he'll take, because he does have a leg there. But as for defamatory, I don't think so, since it was part of just like an actual open investigation that was publicized. Plus, I don't really think you're going to win as a crypto company that actually did have tons and tons and tons of victims that lost money on it. Not in Texas. It's not illegal in Texas. Is that right? I didn't know that. Thanks to Tier 1 Thunder and Tier 1 Boogaloo, the Prime, Josh, Brody, and Calgin in the resub. Dedidated and Luke. And Coffeezilla's in Texas. Well, yeah, that's why that would be relevant to this. Thanks to resub Steve, Twinkie, Wee, Zerum, Gaming, and Wise in the resub Momo. And the resub Tinky. But yeah, I don't think it'd be for a defamation case. I don't think Logan would try that angle. That'd be a very hard one to win. No, it's probably not about winning. It's probably just about strong-arming, because Logan has significantly more money to hire a legal team and bully for a long, long time. Thanks to give sub mayonnaise and the resub philosophy, imprid, mishi, and fire. Not sure, Tree. I don't know what my favorite ramen is. CryptoZoo floor price 32 cent 30 Jesus, not 32 cents. 0.32 ETH after this. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's surprised. Him releasing this video is going to drive up the price of CryptoZoo. It was already pumping because of Coffeezilla's video and people just buying it thinking that it would make it big. And it's been working. But they absolutely deserve to lose their money again, for sure. If you put money into it, after all of this, you deserve to lose it. Thanks for resub, Seth Green. And the bits, Bulma. Logan Paul made a new announcement on his Twitter. No, he didn't. Why do I keep getting lied to? I don't even know why I bother fucking checking. He's a Prime Salvic. And it's more dislikes than likes. Yeah, but he's obviously going to have people defending it as well. Because like I said, for a Logan Paul response, this isn't nearly as bad as I expected it to be. He's trying to play it off like it's not a scam, so he didn't apologize for anything, and he didn't address anything that had substantial, provable evidence from Coffee. So he kind of ducked around like the really hard to wiggle stuff. There's the Prime Mike and the resub Haunt, Viking, and Spore. You're definitely biased though. I would have been super open to Logan Paul somehow figuring out like how to prove all of that wrong. It's just the evidence was like pretty tight. It wasn't just like circumstantial nonsense. It was like very thorough investigation, man. That's not bias. That's looking at evidence and seeing this is, you know, not a lot of wiggle room, but I'm open to hearing. And I heard a couple of decent points. Granted, I don't think they're that strong overall. Like, Coffeezilla omitted that one of my core developers is actually a criminal. Like, okay, he didn't say that. You are right. Coffeezilla probably knew this guy was a criminal and didn't bother mentioning it. Though I don't think mentioning it makes you look better. In fact, I think it really makes you look worse. You hired him. You did no amount of information gathering or background checking. But you're right. Coffeezilla didn't mention that. That was omitted. Or Coffeezilla not doing his research enough on this guy being a scammer. Fair enough. That is correct. He is not someone that should have been in the testimonials as one of the victims, though, even though he probably did lose money on it. It's a scammer who got scammed. It doesn't discount the rest of the people who gave testimonials that did lose money, but you focused on one who is a bad person, apparently. That's fair enough. Yeah, Coffeezilla probably shouldn't have had him in the testimonials. And then the egg hatching thing. I believe there was evidence about the egg hatching not being functional fully when the game launched. And I think in Coffeezilla's video, he did say, like, they did eventually try and get that working, but it's still not in a fully functional state. But those are, like, the only points. And then this call being illegally recorded, which apparently is not illegal in Texas. And then he confirms what Coffeezilla confirmed about Jake stealing, Eddie stealing, and Jeff and Logan never selling. He confirmed that. So Coffeezilla was right. I think that was it, right? There wasn't anything else. Yeah. And then it was just about him, like, saying, we're working our ass off, it's gonna come out, it's not a scam, without providing any information on what exactly they're gonna do differently. You're gonna hire more criminals? Here's a prime Fabi and Descending in Tier 1 Turtle. The resub Log, Grimes, Forox, and Philip. It's just scammers scamming scammers. Yeah. That's exactly what it was internally. Again, another thing he didn't address was all of the group chats that are now public. He didn't deny them either. He just legitimately didn't even bother talking about it. Or any of their internal memos about market manipulation. He's a Tier 1 Deuce and Prime Splurks. It's such a bad video. I don't think it's like great or anything. It doesn't prove that he's not scamming, or CryptoZoo isn't a scam, but it's not nearly as bad as I expected. It isn't as bad as I thought it would be. But he doesn't do a great job of defending that this is a legitimate project. He's a Tier 1 base. It's enough for his fans who didn't watch the coffee video, though. Yeah, it is going to be enough for the fans, and it's going to be enough for the CryptoZoo backers who are still holding on to that, like, false hope, but... Here, just going through Twitter takes real quick. This seems kind of representative of most of the hive mind on it, so I'm just going to read it. Though this is just one person's opinion, kind of echoed in different ways. Logan and his team need to be held accountable for picking horrible partners, but to say he scammed when he didn't sell is insane. Just because he didn't sell doesn't mean that it wasn't a scam. Tons and tons of people lost money, and his internal partners did sell, making millions. Who's to say Logan Paul wouldn't have sold if it kept going? Plus, all of the group chat that is now public seems to have confirmed that this whole thing was just all about making as much money as possible and as quickly as possible on a bad idea. Still a scam. Just because it doesn't sell doesn't mean it's not a scam. He's a Tier 1 5-star in the Prime. Breck, Orgs in the resub. Gizzy, Derp, and Reese. You 100% was going to sell if it didn't happen. Yeah, but that's just speculation. I don't know. I don't know if he would have sold. I will say the reason, one thing that definitely contributed to not selling is after Jake sold and made $6 million, the price right in the shitter. So obviously he wasn't going to sell too. And then Eddie sold $1.7 million and then deeper into the shitter. So clearly he wasn't going to be selling regardless. I don't know if his intention was to sell, but it seems like the intention with the project, based on all of the group chats, was to make as much money off the audience as he could for the whole team. Didn't he make money from the egg sales? That I still don't really know. Even in Coffeezilla, I was scratching my head because I don't know. I don't think you can say for sure whether or not he himself pocketed money off of the egg sales. That, I think, is still just kind of tough to say for certain. Thanks the resub Frog and Prime Aaron and the resub Hobo. Watch the Coffeezilla video now. It's a lot different with his context. What the fuck? He didn't context? What are you talking about? I guess in this one part where this guy giving his testimonial is untrustworthy, but other than that, it doesn't change the lens. The evidence is still there. He didn't tackle any of the evidence other than saying that one of them was unethically and illegally gathered through that recorded phone call. And that's really about it. Or that Z that he was talking to was actually a criminal that Logan hired. Like, it doesn't change the lens. Executive subs Zemify and the resub Kube in the prime space. How the fuck is Logan still sticking with Jeff? That I don't know. Jeff just sounds like an actually observable stupid man. Like an actual stupid idiot. I don't know why he keeps Jeff around. I don't. I really don't. I actually think Logan had no idea who was being hired. It was all Jeff, but Logan's gonna still take the fall for it because he just let Jeff run rampant like a dog off the leash. Hired 2 criminals, and then those criminals hired a criminal. So then eventually they hired all 3 fucking criminals. Like, I don't know why he keeps him around. Makes no sense to me. He didn't say how it was a scam. I actually think a lot of children have too much easy access to the internet. What do you mean, explain how it was a scam? Like, what do you mean? The method of scamming was gathering as much money from people, talking about how fun this game is and how you can play to earn money on this game. And then the game comes out. The game isn't in a functional state for a while. Maybe it is now, perhaps. Logan seems to insinuate that it is functional. But regardless, it is worth nothing, meaning you did not play for a while, and now when you do play, you don't earn. So you just lose money. However, his team made, in total, $7.7 million off of selling. It's called Pump and Dump. Now, Logan and Jeff didn't sell. That is true. That didn't happen. But just because they didn't sell doesn't mean it wasn't a scam. There is a group chat where they were talking about money-making ways through the crypto space and copying a certain project that was very lucrative, and the entire conversation was always about making money off of Logan's audience. They then even get into market manipulation tactics, talking about what's an acceptable amount to sell on any given day to not influence price too much. It's a scam. That is a scam. I don't know why I needed to break it down into the Cliff Notes for you. I don't see why that was necessary. But I hope we're all on the same page now. Now, Logan Paul is denying that this was ever the case. So he's not like apologizing to all of the people that lost money or anything. He's saying that with this guy stealing the code, it was a huge setback and there's just been so much going on behind the scenes, and then Jake tanking it and then Eddie tanking it. It's just been hard to rebuild, but he's been working super hard to bring it back. But he still is missing the big problem. Nothing was communicated to the buyers. They have been left in the dark for over a year. Logan Paul has made 2 Discord messages in a year. One of them was yo, and the other was I'm sober, shake my head. He made a 3rd Discord message 2 days ago, right before posting this video. There's nothing being conveyed to all of those people that lost a ton of money. So even if it's not, even if Logan Paul never thought it was a scam, there were very real victims that lost very real money on this project, all because of him. There's a tier 1 Harvey, and the resub Alter, Kirix, and Leonard. Coffee tweeted again. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not like information or anything, it's just another point. I'm pretty sure had Coffeezilla never made the video on CryptoZoo, he would have preferred it just die a quiet death. Logan would have never addressed it again. That's my theory as well. But now, since there's so much pressure on it, he feels obligated to try and deliver on the initial promises, which I don't see happening, but we'll see. That's another point he didn't talk about. That is true. There's still a wallet that holds a ton of coins that half was supposed to be donated. Him saying he hasn't sold is comedy, given that the wallet will absolutely go into his pocket, but it hasn't yet. But he didn't address what happened to all the donations, because there were supposed to be donations made. Didn't talk about that. There's a resub. Pete, Harry, Rintel, Saiso, Wagi in the Prime, Freck, and Bits don't know. It's just tackling a bigger point anymore. He doesn't actually deliver anything on like the evidence that was submitted. Oh goddamn! Thank you for the 20 gift sub system overload. Appreciate the generosity. Thanks to the Prime sarcasm and the resub with Mia. Damn, I'd like to see the dislike ratio. Yeah, I don't have the add-on on, but I know it has more dislikes than likes. So what did Coffee do wrong? Yeah, we can do the after-action quick report. So Logan doesn't tackle any of his like evidence-backed claims in the investigation. Those don't really get tackled, but he does point out two things that Coffeezilla, fair enough, did get wrong, I suppose. One of them, again, I think is a very minor one, with one of the victims of CryptoZoo scam being a scammer himself. This is a guy that shouldn't have been in the testimonials, given his past. That's a fair thing to point out. This guy's untrustworthy. Fair enough. And then the other one was... Where is it? Where's he talking about it? This. The illegally recorded conversation with his manager. Apparently not illegal in Texas, which is where Coffeezilla's at. But he talks about how shady it was to record this conversation without Jeff's permission. Those are really like the only two things he points out that are like, okay, I mean, that's fair enough, yeah. I could see why those two things would be inappropriate. But it doesn't disprove any of the overall evidence that was submitted from Coffeezilla. It's legal, though. It is legal in Texas, but it is illegal most places. So I can see why he'd point that out as inappropriate behavior and unprofessional. I think that's a fair criticism to have. I'm not going to get mad at Logan for that or cherry pick it as like, but it's legal here. I get it, but I also think it's still very valuable evidence regardless. I think when it comes to a fucking crime, it should be fair game to have a recorded confession, like a recorded piece of evidence, even without that person's permission. But that's not what the law says in most places. It's illegal in most states, is it? I'm pretty sure it's illegal in Florida. It is illegal to record or intercept a telephone conversation in Florida. So maybe I'm just biased because it's illegal here. No, I mean, everything they post goes on, like, the official channel that we have as well. It's just they're first because they're overseas, so they literally post it minutes after it happens. There's a Prime Mickey, Nordy in the resub, Ronnie in Texas, and Scar, and Alex in the Prime Tactical. And give sub basic. And the resub Duke. It's only illegal in 11 states. Really? And Florida happens to be one of them? That's interesting. I thought it was more common. He's a bribe Snoopy and the resub Brave. Do you think Logan will actually follow through with his court thing? Yes. I think 100% Logan Paul will follow through with the court thing. He has significantly more money than Coffeezilla. He doesn't even need to win in court. He just needs to bully him. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. 100%. Doesn't Texas have strong anti-slap laws? You gotta stop asking me about Texas law, man. I don't know. I don't know Texas law. I only know Florida law. I have no clue. Shame no one can speak out against these type of people or they get sued. Yeah, but if history's taught us anything, they never win the lawsuit. Like, there's already tons of examples of that on YouTube from YouTubers getting upset at each other and suing. Never really works out. But Logan Paul is in a different ballpark. He's in a whole different league with the amount of money he has. So maybe. Exit 5 gift sub Slasher. Appreciate that. And the resub Tempest and the bits Co-Fire. I already watched the Meat Canyon video. I was going to pull up like Meat Canyon clips that I thought would mirror this. I really thought this was going to be much worse. But yeah, I of course already watched this. Watched it yesterday. It's not good. Again, it's better than I thought though. Like 100% I expected him to come in here very similar to the severe lapse in judgment. I didn't think he was going to try and fight because I think that's a losing battle. But the fact he tried to fight was surprising. And for a lot of people, he cleared himself somehow. Like I said, it looks like from early tweets here discussing this, a lot of his younger fan base is like, wow, Logan W. Even though he didn't tackle any of Coffeezilla's like specific evidence-backed claims and proof, he still did enough to convince them that it was never supposed to be a scam. He's a prime male and they give sub cereal. I don't even know how I'd sum it up, Jay. It's a quick one though. It's only a 7-minute response. They didn't read the fucking leaked text. Well, they didn't watch his videos. I'm assuming the people that are like, damn, Logan W. didn't actually watch the investigation. Because he doesn't address any of the real meaty claims and evidence. Yeah, I think it was just the character attacks on Coffeezilla that were enough to make people think Logan Paul's being honest and CryptoZoo's not a scam. I think that's probably what it is, which was a very smart play from Logan. Attacking his credibility, despite not providing evidence. He just calls him a gossip channel, but doesn't back it up. He says that he's getting very real errors in his modern content, but then provides no evidence. And then goes into his video. But he also doesn't disprove any of Coffeezilla's claims other than pointing out this guy's untrustworthy from the testimonial section, and the eggs may have worked at one point. And also this phone call that he gathered, which it is a good piece of like, here's what's going on, was gathered unprofessionally. That's it. Everything else is just, Coffeezilla's bad. We are fraud. And it worked. Why do you think Coffee declined Logan's invite to the podcast? because you got invited right before Christmas. And then again, right before New Year's. Who's going to want to fucking fly to LA for that on his podcast? Of course he's not doing that. Coffeezilla also reached out saying, hey, let's just do it over a video call. Why did Logan decline a video call, which is significantly easier and more convenient? Do I think Steve will respond? So I could try and intimidate him. There's plenty of reasons not to go on Logan's podcast to talk about it. I think the obvious one, Logan completely controls what actually makes it into the final cut. Like, there's nothing to be gained there. Why not just do it over a video call on a stream? Literally anything. Coffeezilla offered just a full video voice call so they can talk about it, which is very convenient for both parties. Would have been super simple, but Logan didn't accept that. He only wants Coffeezilla in person on his podcast that he controls on the flow of information. As opposed to just doing a neutral fucking video call about it.